Welcome to the Great Outdoors. Today we're going to be looking at the learning intention. I will develop working scientifically skills, and we'll know when we've achieved that because we will be able to use equipment to measure the environment, analyze the data, construct and interpret graphs, solve problems, and use this information to look at trends and patterns and to make conclusions. So when we're looking at environmental data, we're going to concentrate on abiotic data and look at information about the climate and its conditions. And that includes things like temperature, rainfall, humidity, light intensity, and other things like that. So kind of weather and climate related data. And this data, it might involve numbers. So it actually measure specific numbers like a degrees centigrade, or it might be a description like it's warm today. The equipment we use to do this is called SparkView. It's available through the school portal. You can download it as an app on your phone and get it on your computer. And it's great for collecting numerical data about the climate and conditions. And when we're talking about numbers, the type of data that we classify this is quantitative data because we're looking at quantities, not descriptions. So when you download SparkView on your phone or on your computer, the app will allow you to choose a path, and we usually go down the central one looking at sensor data because we have a variety of different sensors that we can use when we're collecting this data. You can look at the data either numerically like this, a number readout, or you might get a graph readout. But all of these are saved in the app and you can download them onto a spreadsheet to use later. So when you're using a data logger to collect information about the environment, there are lots of advantages, but obviously there are disadvantages too. The advantages are that you can collect lots of data. So collecting lots of data is really helpful with environmental work because we get to see the trends and patterns more reliably. It's good because you can have a simultaneous collection of data. In other words, we could collect the temperature at the same time that we're collecting the light intensity, at the same time that we are collecting humidity data. So we can see trends between different types of data. We can actually leave the sensors in the field. In other words, we can put them in a particular place and record the data maybe overnight and then come back the next day and download the data onto your computer. And the software will actually construct tables and graphs for you, which is quite helpful. Disadvantages are that you have to have access to technology. So you need a phone or a computer to collect the data from the sensor. It also needs a power source, which is usually just a battery, but you need to make sure you've got plenty of battery life if you're going to leave it in a location for more than a few hours. Obviously, the data loggers are, the sensors are actually expensive, so we need to be careful with them, we need to purchase them and look after them. And although they are quite straightforward to use, you might actually need a little bit of training to use them well. So those are our advantages and disadvantages. Now I mentioned that it is possible to just describe the climate and the conditions. And that type of data is called qualitative data because we're talking about the quality of the thing that we are describing. So for example, you might say, well, it's a partly cloudy day, it's warm, the sun has been out for a while, but that's okay. It's low tech, it's quick, it's easy, and depending on what you need the information for, that might actually be sufficient. So what did you think, Mr. Parrot? Great. So we'll see you next time.